This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, plus Alex and Nate with Sam.
Hey.
Bop bopping in the background.
I need a haircut. Look at this. This is ridiculous.
You're a little wild there.
I know. The hell do you do with this?
On.
I know. It's
He's getting
crazy.
holiday spirit.
All right. This week we have an exciting show, one which we will know just as much as you as we go through it. Be the first time for us talking about it also.
Winging it.
Winging it, recording a day later and $1 shorter. So, Alex, I hope you truly enjoyed the reason for the season.
Yep.
Whatever you said, you froze.
I'm glad that's what happened. So
Off to a good start.
Yep. As always, follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, sportsstuffw.com/Jim _Muff on YouTube, on Facebook. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, hit the bell.
Pickle.
Lick. I don't think that's one.
All right. We got some NFL football to talk about, not so much college stuff to talk about as far as games, although things are happening in college football.
Some things happen.
And
Yeah.
we'll get into some other topics potentially. Alex, do you have any update on the Pittsburgh Penguins?
I do. The Pittsburgh Penguins are 16-8-4. They are third in the Metropolitan now with 36 points. They're in third by the head-to-head. They have the same amount of points as second place. They beat Columbus this past week on Tuesday, and then they won back-to-back Friday and Saturday against the Buffalo Sabres.
Good. So doing well. Jim, how are your teams?
Well, as you heard, Columbus sucks. But
That's
the
not new,
Golden
though,
Knights, no, the Golden Knights are ahead of their division with the Kraken in second. So the Pacific will be down to those two. Super pumped about that. I'm gonna get a Kraken hat. I've decided for my birthday. That's what I'm asking for my birthday is a Kraken hat. I don't know if I want the one with the squid on it or the S. I haven't decided.
Why not both?
That's not a bad idea, Nate. And I think it's going to be my token next year for the betting show.
Oh.
Yeah.
In a betting show where we don't bet hockey ever.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
First time for everything.
Can't get much worse when it comes to that. So
it's perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Any other special topics before we get into the NFL?
No, I mean it depends on where you want to land, but no, I'm good.
Well, live looking in the NFL, Kyler Murray's hurt already.
Great.
Good.
Feed James Conner. Feed James Conner.
How hurt?
He went scrambling and then he tried to dive. They're showing a replay right now. I think he just rolled his ankle.
So, might still be in the game?
I don't know. He didn't really roll it. I'm waiting to see if he's grab his ankle, he grab his knee. They are on grass. So there's that.
Did he try to quickly go from the standing to the prone position like Call of Duty?
Yeah, he was trying to make a cut and lower his center of gravity, and he's still down on the ground as they go to break.
Is he teabagging?
Nope.
There you go.
I don't know if Tyler could do that. He's a little too short for that.
Folks, that was another reason that you should be watching this on YouTube. Because you'd see Muff teabagging.
Or something.
All right. Well, let's get into the show. Games are too tough, rough, or gruff. We are proof that you don't have to be an expert to have an opinion. So just
shut up and sit down.
This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. Starting with the NFL Week 14, Thursday night football with a banger of a Thursday night game as far as for your viewing pleasure. Baker Mayfield makes his way to the West Coast.
Effing Baker Mayfield.
I told you, people. I told you. I said Baker Mayfield gonna be a thing.
I thought it would be even worse if Baker Mayfield played, to be honest.
That was.
He was feeling dangerous.
He felt dangerous for an eighth of the game. And the Rams storm back and win the game on Thursday night, 17-16.
Ridiculous.
I just can't believe he played as much as he did on a short week.
Did you hear how he was playing? Like the system they set up for him? He was basically playing backyard football.
He was telling people to run specific routes. There was no play calling, right?
Yeah, he was drawing it up in the sand.
Yeah, at the end at least. I think he had like a very short play sheet. But all accounts from what I've heard after the fact are that Baker Mayfield's mental acuity in football knowledge are very high, as far as like he has a very photographic and a memory that holds on to things after he sees them once.
Even after headbutting all of his teammates?
Maybe not next week, but at least for now.
What a dumbass.
How about the Raiders? They were actually like heating up a little bit, and then they just laid this egg in the fourth quarter.
I know. Whenever I finally started to put faith in them.
Dumb.
Well, maybe your faith will be restored in the first game we're going to talk about on Sunday, and that is the Lions taking on the Vikings. And the Lions are back in the playoff hunt somehow.
Playoff hunt, baby.
Super Bowl, I'm telling you. Y'all think I was crazy.
And beat the Vikings 34-23.
Just remember I said it.
Behind a very strong
remember,
offensive output.
When the commentator said playoff hunt, I was like, ooh, Alex.
Did you actually like put a bet down for that, Alex?
I didn't.
Oh, I hope you did.
I did not. I wish I had, but I should do it now.
My wife is currently putting new skin on a giant cut on my finger as we record. It is very painful.
Is it something cool, like at least like fish skin?
Oh God, no! It's that new skin bullshit, and it is wildfire. Oh,
does this game say anything to us about the Vikings?
Yeah, I think they're not going to be able to win the big game.
Nah, yeah, they're downward trending.
They're in downward dog.
Downward dog.
Next in Sunday football, we have the Ravens taking on the Steelers. Kenny Pickett goes down with the concussion, but then is not, and then goes out of the game. Mitch Trubisky takes over and conveniently leads 3 drives that lead at interceptions. The Ravens capitalize, and the Ravens win 16-14 in
And
Pittsburgh.
the Ravens lost their starter too, didn't they?
He was already out.
He was already out.
No. The other
Tyler,
that game.
Yeah, Tyler Huntley went down as well with a concussion. Yeah.
I think the big news is Kenny Pickett.
I don't know. So Kenny Pickett went down, was like sort of kind of helped off the field, but not really. Came in for the next possession, and then was taken out after that, even though the next possession did not result in any, like he wasn't hit at all or anything in the next possession, but they took him out and he was out.
Maybe the spotters caught him.
That's what I think. The spotter called down.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't recall seeing anything worse than what he was coming off the field for him to come back on and for like, oh, this is worse than him like sort of limping off the field.
Maybe like after they reviewed it, they were like, oh, by the way, we watched it again and it actually wasn't that bad.
I could have told you that. It's on national television where they were showing that he was kind of like stumbling a little bit off the field. I was very well, they said that he went into the tent to be assessed and they said he can go back out. And then this could have potentially been a Tua type situation if something would have happened, is what I'm getting at.
I think when you have the concussion guy, the leading concussion expert in Pittsburgh, I think you bring him down and say, hey, on Sundays you play with us. That's what I would do.
Not a bad option.
I don't know if he's the most well-liked in the NFL community at some
I don't
ways.
give a rat's ass. Mr. Rooney, break the mold and get the guy who leads in concussions.
All right. What does this mean for the Ravens moving forward? Obviously, the Steelers not really in the playoff discussion, but does this hurt the Ravens if they have to continue going with Tyler Huntley and or QB number 3? Because I think Lamar Jackson, they've said, another week or 2 tops?
Mm-hmm.
I think
they're sitting all right now. I thought I heard today they're currently the same record as the Bengals, so
Mhm.
They're still sitting atop of the division. I think the Bengals own the tiebreaker, if I'm not mistaken.
But the last game of the season is Cincinnati versus Baltimore. Cincinnati fans are salivating at the poor performance of Baltimore against the Steelers and the hot streak that Cincinnati's on. It all comes down to that last game. Who's going to be healthy? Who's going to have what at the end?
All right, next we have the Bengals taking on the Browns. The Bengals get another win, as we've said, and stay atop the AFC North Division, beating the Browns 23-10, thanks to, I believe this was a huge throwing game. I think Jamar Chase had a big game. T. Higgins, till he got hurt, had a good game. David Njoku, Donovan Peoples-Jones. This was not a bunch of Joe Mixon in this one.
I just wonder what's going through Jacoby Brissett's head.
That's a great point.
I don't know, Jim. He was the worst quarterback in the history of the league, according to you.
And then the tickler came in and proved me wrong.
Proved that it could get worse.
It could get worse. But they shut Chubb down on just 36 yards.
Well, they said,
when all they can do
Deshaun
is
beat us.
Well, I was going to say, when all they can do is run.
I mean, it was not a good day for Cleveland.
Is it ever?
It's true.
Fair point.
Well put.
I'm just
put. All right. Next, we have the Bills taking on the Jets, and the Bills come away with the 20-12 win. Not a pretty win, but they came away with a win. Mike White goes out in this game, I believe, with concussion as well.
Yeah.
Almost all of his ribs broken too.
He
That's
got
right.
lit
He got
up.
folded.
It was ugly.
Broken ribs are no joke.
Jets are already down many pieces. Brees Hall out for the season. I mean, Mike White is currently in for Zach Wilson. I got to imagine that situation isn't going to change unless Mike White can't play, and then there's another decision to be made. But the Bills do what they have to do to get the win.
I think the Bills have some gut checking if they want to make it all the way through. The Bills have to play Cincinnati on a Monday night. I think that'll be the real test for the Bills.
Well, losing Von Miller for the year didn't hurt him.
Yeah, I know that.
Because either.
Yep.
No, I was just going to say that. Yeah, on defense, they lost a key piece, but we'll see. The offense from the offense is good. I don't think there's many teams in there that can beat them.
When it's good.
We'll see. I honestly don't know. They could come on strong at the end and just dominate, or this could be a struggle for them to continue to win games. TBD. Speaking of struggles to win games, the Cowboys beat the Texans 27-23.
Man,
Yeah, last inning
for
drive.
Houston to hold on to that.
So I sat in a meeting with representatives from all over West Virginia, Columbus, Cleveland, and we were all supposed to wear our team jerseys, right? And out came the Cowboy jerseys, right? And I said, well, what do you guys think? Like, it's 17-point spread. You guys think it's going to be oh yeah, it's going to be. And I was like, I don't know. And we had just recorded the betting show, and you guys had talked me out of it. And I was like, I don't know. And they're like, oh, it's going to be good. And then I watched, the score of this game, and I was like, ooh, are they going to lose this? There were moments in there where I got nervous for the Cowboy fans. What would they have done if they had lost?
They would not have been the best team in Texas.
They would not have been
on that particular day.
It would have been ugly.
The Texans, I think what didn't help the Texans, did Dameon Pierce go down in this one? Yes. Dameon Pierce went out later in this game. I would say it was maybe somewhere in definitely in the second half. I just forget when in the second half, but the Texans were just running all over the Cowboys, which is not what you expect. But I think it showed a little bit of a concern with the Cowboys if they have a run heavy team, because they can, instead of having to finesse and have to worry about the pass rush, you just pound the ball. And that's not necessarily the strategy of most of the elite teams right now. but I think that shows a way to beat the Cowboys easily or more easily.
I think it shows the same thing for the Cowboys that it did for the Vikings this week.
Yeah.
Agreed. Next, we have the Eagles taking on the Giants. The Eagles dominate, destroy, and absolutely decapitate the Giants, winning 48-22.
Is there any more D words you could have thrown in there?
Yeah, but we won't say them on the air.
They tossed Deeds nuts on the table, and they were victorious.
All right. There we have it.
Yeah, I did not see that score coming.
No,
Not that big.
No, that's what I mean.
But,
Now, I think I did see earlier the Eagles punter went out and their kicker had to punt.
And they still won by that much.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles, are they the team to beat right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no questions asked.
Fair enough. Next, we have the Jaguars taking on the Titans. Jaguars pull one out behind a strong showing from Trevor Lawrence, 36-22.
Yeah, this is what I think was the shocker of the week.
Yes.
We talked about this, though.
Yeah.
We talked about how this game could go a couple ways and how the Jaguars just can't find any sense of consistency to keep up wins like this.
Yeah, we wanted to bet it, but it was the consistency that was the problem.
Well, here's a weird stat I heard today. Listen to McAfee. I mean, Derrick Henry still finished with 121 rushing yards. Only had 2 rushing yards all second half.
How many carries?
17.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Dang.
Yikes. Is all
Yeah, what
I
happened to
have
King
say.
Henry?
Well,
I don't
He's
know.
on
I think
the
they just
waiting
realized
end.
they were playing from behind and realized they couldn't just run the ball because they don't have enough time.
was that
Yeah.
16 carries for the game or 16 carries in the second half, Nate?
17 carries for the game.
Wow.
I think he's on the waiting end of his kingdomship.
Yeah. You can see him kind of slowing down a couple steps.
I mean, the Jaguar just, or not the Jaguar, the Titans just have no weapons outside of him. I mean, it goes to show if you can stop him, they have
Yep.
no plan B.
Yep.
That is true. That's true. At Mile High Stadium, which is about to get an upgrade, the Chiefs take on the Broncos, and the Chiefs win 34-28 in a close game that saw Russell Wilson go down in an ugly situation as far as the optics. And then the Broncos come back at the end, but not enough as the Chiefs win.
I was going to say, yeah, it's a close game, but it wasn't. I mean, there was
Yeah.
time for that game was 20. I think it was like 21-0, wasn't it?
That's what I'm looking. It was 27-0.
27-0.
Chiefs. And then it would end up being, like you said, 34-28.
Not good for the Chiefs to cover betters, aka us.
Who's that?
But that Russell Wilson situation, they like zoom in on him. You can obviously tell that he's just straight out of it.
He can't. That looked like a career ender.
It's
It's
definitely not one of those, hey, you're coming back next week, right?
Yeah.
them birdies were not like, you know how the Looney Tune cartoons and you see the birdies. There were no birdies. Even the birdies were concussed.
Yes, everyone was.
It was bad.
Plus, when you're a mile high and all that fresh smoke in the air, so he's probably really seeing double.
It was
Triple.
bad. I felt like we make fun of Russ, but like if there was a question about like his mental stability and like, because there was reports like, hey, he's still calling stuff from the Seattle days, and he takes a hit like that. Whew,
Yeah, I don't care who the player is. I don't want to see anyone go down like that.
no, it made me sick. I'm not gonna lie.
It was no bueno. Anything to be said about this game?
No,
Okay. Next, Alex, I will take this one as you usually do this, but the Panthers taking on the Seahawks, and the Panthers run away with this one, winning 30-24, even at Seattle with the 12th man. Alex, how you feeling about your adopted Seahawks team?
It didn't go great this week, guys.
What was Gino's stat line?
I was looking it up. Hold on. Was ill prepared. I should have had Gino's stat line up and ready. I didn't get to watch much football this week, guys.
I don't think Gino had a great stat line.
He
I'll
had
say that.
he threw for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he had 2 interceptions and was 21 of 36. Not great. Not terrible. Excuse me.
Could have been
2
better. Of
interceptions.
what I saw in this game, and when I was kind of looking at some of the stats, I think the Panthers had a big rushing advantage. I think they were like running the ball like almost entire drives at a time.
So is Kyler Murray out for the game now?
Yeah, it looks like they took him off the
Yeah.
cart.
Mother pearl. There goes all
I
my
need it.
plays.
That's all.
Colt
I need to
McCoy's
win.
in. Colt McCoy's in.
Oh, speaking of backups, I'll talk about that Tampa Bay game.
Yeah, touchdown 49ers. There you go.
End of discussion.
End of discussion.
Listen, whenever they started that game and they got called with that cheap ass roughing the passer, I knew that it was going to be a long game. Granted, I knew they were going to get their asses kicked. I didn't think it was going to be that bad.
What is Tom Brady's affinity for beating the shit out of that iPad?
Because he can, I don't know.
Like he spiked one this week.
Because he can afford to just replace it.
It's off.
I don't know. I guess it's better than him making a whole spectacle of going and like flipping the Gatorade cooler table and whatever. Because I guess, and then whenever he got in the face of his offensive lineman, the media's like, "Oh, look at Brady. He's yelling at his players."
Look at Brady, he's yelling at his players. I think to me this just shows that the 49ers they're a team, like a complete team. We already knew they had a pretty solid defense.
Yeah, and Christian McCaffrey just went wild like he used to in Carolina days against them.
Right. Now we have the unknown of Deebo Samuel, though, right? Like
I think they said it was just a high ankle sprain.
Okay.
It looked bad.
Yeah.
That's a bad roll.
He was going to snap his ankle or
Yeah.
whatever. They said he avoided and he might be out like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
He's lucky.
Because it was definitely not looking good.
Mm.
But 49ers, I think, are a wagon right now, no matter who's at quarterback, being honest. So we'll see how the Brock Purdy show continues. In Sunday night football, we had the Chargers taking on the Dolphins. James?
They did everything they could to lose the game, and they escaped. So good for them.
Chargers won 23-17 in Sunday night football. Behind, I believe, what all do we have in a stat line here? What was the Herbert situation?
threw the ball well. Keenan Allen showed up.
Herbert was 39 for 50 or 39 of 51, for 367 and a touchdown.
Like I said, he threw it all over the place.
I'm assuming Austin Eckler did his thing.
15 for 45 and a touchdown.
But it was not.
Plus 59 yards receiving. Yep.
It was not the prettiest.
It was a win against the Dolphins, though, which means something, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
So am I allowed, like,
you can't shit on Tua for that game.
Reserve my opinion. I mean, I most certainly could. He was 10 of 28 for 145.
You've already said that Tua and Dolphins are a team, but Tua's stat line isn't too pretty.
Right. I said that the Dolphins are legit. I've said that. Won't go back on that just yet. Now, if they play 2 or 3 more weeks like this, then there may be question.
Yeah.
All right. Anything new in the Monday Night Football action, Nate?
Nope. Still goose eggs.
All right. That
Or in the spirit of the World Cup, it's still 0-0.
0-0. Takes us out of the NFL and leads us into
the college football breakdown-ish.
Did y'all watch the Army-Navy game at all?
I did not.
I watched a little bit of it. It was 17-10. Or no, I'm sorry. It was 10-3 Navy with about 3 minutes left. Army goes down the field, scores, ties it up. 10-10, goes to overtime. Both teams scored on their first play of their respective possessions, and the Navy fumbled the ball like going into the end zone on their possession, and then Army kicked the field goal and won. Felt really bad for the guy from Navy who fumbled. He was very upset.
Well, and how about, I guess I saw it was the first time in I don't know how many years that the over hit.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
10 plus years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like 30 was the over under.
And I think it had to go out. It was overtime that made it go over, right? Or was
Double
it
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah. It was only 10-10 going into overtime.
Yeah. What a game for the Commanders Cup. We had we had some action too, didn't we?
The UAB game is not until December 16th.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Not sure who threw that one in there, but
That was me.
Yeah, I forget.
Just getting
Well-
a jump on it. That's all.
Well, what other college football discussions do we have? We have real shite situation down in Texas, don't we?
Mike Leach.
yeah.
Right. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I think I'm talking about a wrong state though. Go ahead, talk about Mike Leach though.
Mike Leach is in critical condition, had a heart attack. So T's and
He's
P's
a
to Mike
D's, yeah,
Leach.
for sure. That's-
What are you talking about, Muff?
Well,
Talking
think
about
Muff's
Texas
in the wrong
basketball?
sport. Yeah.
Yeah,
Muff's in the wrong sport.
That's okay. College sports breakdown.
college sports discussion. Well, before we get into that, we can just talk about the Heisman,
Oh yeah, Caleb Williams won.
as was expected at that point.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I think the argument could have been there for Max Duggan.
Oh no way. No. No.
Why is that,
No,
Jim?
I think the
Is it
Thank
argument
you,
could have been-
Nate.
I
Is it because of a
still think
subpar
Caleb-
conference?
Thank you, Nate.
No.
Go ahead, Nate. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I think the argument could have been made for Max Duggan, but I would still would have voted Caleb Williams had I had a vote.
Did we get the? I never saw the actual voting. Has the voting?
Yeah, it
Numbers?
was first place. Obviously, was Williams. Duggan was the runner-up, and then it was Stroud, and then Stetson Bennett.
See, that's asinine to me.
Why?
It would have been Williams, Bennett, Duggan, Stroud for me.
So it wasn't that far off from what you thought.
Duggan should not have gotten second.
Why?
He did, what? No,
Well, that's not a good reason.
Yeah, you need something to back this up.
he's lost,
Okay.
and he's not he's not a superior athlete.
Why?
This is not the most athletic award.
You argue this all the time.
It's the most valuable player in
I-
college football.
I think there's a much higher bar of players than him
Why
I
do you have
think
to be
that-
athletic? I want to know why you need to be athletic.
because it's a sport.
So Peyton
I-
Manning, athlete.
Did he win the
Yeah.
Heisman?
I don't know, Jim. Duggan was still pretty
Yeah.
multi-dimensional in the run game and the pass game.
Yeah, Duggan was a better running quarterback than CJ Stroud.
I don't think CJ Stroud.
And
I've gone
Stetson
on
Bennett.
record.
Stetson Bennett is not a running
Stetson
quarterback
Bennett's
at
a
all.
winner.
But you never said that. You just said
That is one of
athletic
my criteria.
winner.
I did say that.
Okay.
I did say that.
Now, if you're so high on Stetson Bennett, though, Jim, what would you consider his Heisman moment? Because you were high on him pretty much the whole year.
Because he's winning.
Well, Max
To my
Duggan won
criteria, like
15, but
you're
won.
winning. If you're winning, you're up there. Like you're on the undefeated team, and you're leading them to greatness. One.
Okay, but does he not? Is he not like I like Stetson Bennett, and I'm not necessarily full blown disagreeing with you, but Stetson Bennett, the weapons he has around him versus the weapons that Duggan has around him.
I don't know. Did you hear what Williams said on the podium afterwards?
No, I turned it off.
He had made a comment or something like, "Yeah, it's nice to win this award and all, and the rest of you guys sitting down there will be playing in the college football playoff, and I won't." So you want to talk about winning? They have what, 3 losses? Then Stetson Bennett has none, Stroud has 1, Duggan has 1.
One day, Jim, maybe you'll get a vote, and then you can.
I don't want to vote. I
you
think
can-
that
you can
I don't
tout
want to
this.
vote that at all. Ever.
But you'll sure pontificate.
I just don't like. I don't understand the Heisman. I guess I think that's part of my issue. Because to me, and I don't. This has nothing to do with an Ohio homer because I don't necessarily think Ohio State player could have won it either. But I just think like the Heisman is the antithesis of the college football player. Like that is the guy. That is the person who stands out the most this year. Caleb Williams had one or two really good games. The kid from TCU had one or two really good games. CJ Stroud had what?
I don't know. You tell me. You watch those games.
Zero. Like zero. I'd be like, CJ Stroud, we need him. We cannot live without him.
Was Notre Dame? Notre Dame the game?
Nope. To me, it's just like if Bennett was gone from Georgia, is Georgia where they're at now?
I don't know. I think Georgia's defense really carried them a lot this year. Because I mean, when I think of those other teams, I'm thinking, okay, Ohio State can score with anybody. USC and TCU put up a lot of points this year. When I think of Georgia, I don't think of a prolific offense.
But they need somebody to throw that ball and run that ball. There were games where he was gutting it out.
I don't know. I still think if you watched TCU more this year, you would have been a Max Duggan fan because that kid's tough. And I
It's a
can't
big
remember.
12, I can't tell you I would be a big fan.
Well, if I give you a blind resume, I mean, I can't remember what it was too. He had some sort of surgery, I think, in the preseason, and didn't even start the season, or wasn't the starter at the beginning of the season, something like that.
He has a very good story, very feel good story. I think he's a good kid. He plays for a Big 12 team. Major vote against him for me.
That's because you're just a hater. Literally, that's it. I'm glad you laugh because you know, like, what? Tell me, like, whenever I asked you for a reason and your answer was no, like, you're just a hater.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Anything else on the Heisman? In some not feel good, but in a potential positive option allotted, the University of Virginia football team has all been granted an extra year of eligibility in the wake of the shooting involving their players.
Good. Wow.
So there's one thing that we can take from a tragic situation is
I wonder who did that. Like who thought of that? And like who was the decision makers behind that?
with
Was it the NCAA?
NCAA ultimately granted it, but I have to imagine they were not the initiator.
Hell no.
They just had to weigh the situation.
Yeah. Good for the guys in Virginia. Good for that.
Yeah, because knowing the way the NCAA rolls, I'm surprised they didn't say, well, it was at the end of the year. They only had to cancel their last 2 games.
Yeah.
So you get for 2 games of eligibility.
We'll waive their NIL deals and then maybe. You know what we haven't talked about? And I know we're running blind here. But we kind of just shrug off Dion and his Colorado move and everything that he's doing in Colorado.
We didn't shrug it off. We talked about it last week. And
But
I'll be honest,
transpired.
I have not seen anything drastically new. If you're talking about his son, that was already in play.
No, I don't even
No,
pay
they
no
They're
attention to
one
his
of the
son.
top running back recruits in the nation committed to them.
Okay. See, I haven't seen
And
it.
he's got offensive coordinators from other schools, and he's drawing a lot of attention. And the transfer portal is hot, which is to be expected. But there's news being broken that his previous institution withheld ticket numbers and finances from him and shorted him on monies.
Yeah, I did read something about that. And then they wanted to give him a raise or something to spread amongst his assistant coaches. And by the time he would do that, it'd be like little to nothing for the bottom tier guys on the staff or something.
They were doing him dirty, if all of it's true. But they were shorting him on the numbers. So here this guy is putting them on the map, and they're trying to screw him. Now think what you want about Dion, but I think the guy should have gotten some more of his paper that he was earned.
He just got a fair shake at it.
Yeah.
Anything else happening in the coaching carousel right now of note?
Kevin, what's his face? The offensive corner for Ohio State got a job somewhere, but he's still going to coach for the playoffs.
And then I don't remember if you guys touched on it or not. Wasn't it the OC from Tennessee's going to South Florida?
Yes.
That's the only other one I can think of.
Yeah, not a lot's going.
No.
It's kind of gone quiet because of the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll ramp back up here in a few weeks. Other football talk? Any other college football talk? I think there's a couple other football topics we didn't get into during the NFL.
Not that I can think of.
Well, it's officially bowl season this weekend.
It is. And this week's betting episode, we'll go into a little bit more detail on that.
Get your bowl pick'ems in.
Get those bowl pick'ems in. Look out for some promotion on our social media, Jim.
Yes, I'll be putting out how to join. I'll be doing that tomorrow.
Ooh, Bowl Mania is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Another football topic we didn't get into is where's OBJ gonna go?
Well, I'm
Not
glad you
Dallas.
I think he would be a perfect fit for Dallas.
mentioned- Well, his
Kind of wide out. He ain't going there.
physical has not come back good. The knee is in real bad shape. Even the Rams are saying, listen, we know what it was. We know what it is now. I don't think any of you people should touch it. That knee's in bad shape. So I feel bad, but I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah, because the Cowboys went out and signed T.Y. Hilton, which I didn't even realize he wasn't on a roster.
Yeah,
So that's a
neither.
good get for them.
I thought he was like hurt in Indy.
He was last year or 2 years ago and was kind of quiet, but I didn't realize he's on the streets until I saw breaking news T.Y. Hilton signs with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I thought he was rostered. I just didn't think he was doing anything. All right. And do we have any thoughts on the Saints players and organization being fined for the faking of an injury last week? Was it Monday or Sunday Night Football?
Monday night against Tampa last
It
week.
was my Nate. Did you see this happen in real time? Because I didn't see it till after the fact.
No, I didn't see it either, but it doesn't surprise me coming from that organization.
How do you really feel?
But wasn't it the Saints too that had that whole bounty gate when Greg Williams?
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, I think there was a substitution happening in the game, and the defense looked like they were probably going to have too many men on the field if the offense was snapping the ball at a regular rate. And so, as two players were rushing onto the field trying to get two players off the field. Cameron Jordan just all of a sudden just like fell on the ground. It started grabbing like he had a cramp.
It's only cheating if you get caught.
They got caught to the tune of about what, $500 or $600
Ugh.
And I think it looks even worse when it's your star player with a C on his chest.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yep. So that's what happens. You get caught sometimes, and this time they got caught.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised to see the NFL have something in a couple years. Like if you're faking an injury or you go out for an injury, you got to sit out the rest of the series and get evaluated or something like that. Not one of those, oh, I got a cramp. Okay, let me stretch it out and I'll be in the next play.
Some type of like similar to the concussion protocol. Like, hey, we
Right.
need to make sure you're like actually not injured, not that you're just being
Yeah, like go over there, do some jumping jacks, do some sprints, make sure that leg's okay or something like that. Because I think it's just a bad look, especially like you said, if they fake an injury. Because more often than not, how many times you see a guy go down the stinger or a cramp and they're back in 1-2 plays later, like nothing ever happened.
It happens more often than I think we want to admit. Okay, any other football news for today?
No.
Not that I can think of.
Sam, any football thoughts?
Other than, I beat Jim in fantasy.
Thank you, Sam.
That is true. It is true. But Jim,
I just like to brag when I actually succeed at something.
Enjoy 5th place.
Jim is the only one in this group tonight that will be heading to the playoffs out of our Sports Stuff Fantasy Football League.
That is true.
So
I tried. Okay.
Good for you, Jim. You can win the prize that is never decided because there's no entry fee to the league.
Right.
There you go.
And shout out to Jim's wife for never setting her lineup and coming in the rear.
Jim, there's been a call. There's been a call for new ownership. The commissioner may have to make.
Hey, you said she has one more year.
I said that. I'm not the person that called into question her ownership.
I have delivered the message that she has one more year. If you all want to piss her off, you can live with her. That's your business.
Y'all want to piss her off.
This is when you should get your daughters interested in NFL football and let them be co-commissioner.
Do you guys want my kids on this show?
Yeah, why not?
We talk about the football league once or twice a year.
You would probably
I'm telling you.
stop saying the F word so often.
Oh, they don't care.
Listen, they live with Jim. They hear it every day.
Tessa walked into daycare today calling everybody assholes. We'll be fine.
Were they being assholes?
Probably.
Sounded like it is.
Yes,
All
every
right.
right. Good then.
All right, that wraps up this week's edition of
College things that we broke down. Other things that are happening in sports.
Boom.
That's good. So UFC's in a betting scandal. Some odds makers noticed that a fight changed real quick. Turns out that a fighter had injured their knee prior, and somebody let that leak. Investigation was launched. Then a corner guy was betting on fights. Some more investigation. Dana White's all riled up because, a fight game has some gambling influences.
what?
I know. So we'll start there with the UFC. There's some other drama, but there's betting in the UFC, and people might be rigging fights, guys.
What?
This is my shocked face.
Dana White is not happy about it. So, yeah, that's happening. Any thoughts?
So the UFC is getting in with the WWE.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Which I'm glad we got to that. So, more UFC news. Ariel Helwani is a fight coverage guy. He is a news reporter for sports. He does YouTube channel. He and Dana White have had a long-standing hatred of each other. Basically, Dana White has banned him from covering UFC events, live events. It's a thing. Well, apparently, Patty the Batty is also not a fan of Ariel Helwani. And Patty the Batty had Dana on his show, and they both talked shit on Ariel Helwani. Which is, okay, whatever. But it kind of led to how would I say this? You can see Dana's bias for Patty the Batty. Like, oh, you're the next Conor McGregor cash cow, and Dana's going to ride you to the moon. That was very obvious, right? Go into the next UFC fight this weekend.
This past weekend, yeah.
Yep. And Patty the Batty won, wink, wink, by judge's decision, and everybody thought he lost. Except for Patty, of course.
Well,
and after we had this cheating scandal, and Dana White's boy happened to win, calls into question.
Did he win fight of the night?
I don't believe so.
See, that was what I heard. I did not hear much about the decision. It was a unanimous judge's decision.
It was bad.
I heard it was more about he was.
It was not unanimous judge's decision. It was split.
Was it split?
It was split. And it was not good.
So what I had saw, and this was very quickly afterwards. I was watching it. The social media was that as he was coming off, he went to talk to Dave Portnoy and Dana White, who happened to be around each other, and Patty was lobbying for fight of the night, even though it was very apparent that nobody thought that was going to happen.
Yes, it was. All I'm saying is UFC, to Nate's point, is becoming the WWE.
Entertain me.
Yes. Lastly, for the UFC, the same fight card. And this is more, I want to know you guys' feelings. I don't know names. I don't really care.
Patty was in the unanimous decision.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, take it back. Same fight card. 2 light heavyweights are fighting to a draw. I think this is where I messed up, Muff.
Okay.
They fight to a split decision draw. No winner. They were supposed to be for the interim title.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a draw, there is no champion still. At the press conference, okay, which is separate from the telecast, they asked Dana, what are you going to do? Dana says, I'm going to take this fighter, I'm going to take this fighter, and they're going to fight for the interim championship. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is horrible with no names. It would be like, in this situation, Muff and Alex are now going to fight for the interim championship. Okay? On the telecast, one of the commentators, we'll call him Nate, was set to fight Muff, and Dana White just robbed Nate of a fight with Muff. And they were like, Nate, how do you feel? You just lost your fight because Dana White's pissed off that was an interim fight. And that was a draw for the interim title, and he didn't get the outcome he wanted. If you're the Nate in that position, what do you do?
Ain't nobody happy about any of this. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Like, but
well, you're getting a title shot. Alex is getting a title shot, and Nate just got cut out of a payday.
Well, I got cut out of it because they want to they want to have this fight within the next probably 6 weeks.
Yeah,
I mean that's why they're not. Oh, we're not going to give you two a chance to do this again. We're going to give two other, right?
But now Nate has to talk on live television,
right,
about losing his payday,
right. Okay.
If I were me in that situation, I'd say, all right, give me the winner of this in the title fight.
That's what I would say too.
Yeah.
And say, fine, give me all the extra time to recover and get better and whatever.
How about that 18-year-old Raul Rosas?
The guy that's a senior in high school?
Yeah.
I know nothing. Give me more.
He was in the undercard and he won, becoming the youngest UFC fighter.
Wild.
He's still in high school. He's 18, still in high school. I think he tapped somebody out, if I remember correctly.
Huh. Good for him.
Yeah. So he won a $50,000 bonus. So that's cool. You know, being a senior in high school. Get that
Hezbollah is in the UFC game.
Hezbollah has been in the UFC game, Jim.
No, like he's in the game, the video game.
Oh.
He will be in the video game.
Perfect.
I thought you'd like that.
Hezbollah's my dude.
Yeah. So that's all the fight stuff. Oh, and Mills Lane died. That was sad. For those of you who don't know, longtime referee for the fight. Only person I've ever saw tell Mike Tyson that what he was saying was bullshit.
Mike Tyson did nothing about it.
He did nothing.
All right. So, in other sports news, Kyrie Irving officially had his Nike sponsorship terminated.
Shocker.
This is news that shocks people right here.
It happened. I'm just trying to think, are there any other large partnerships or that he has left? Well, that was already in the works. They already said they weren't going to release his
will hit him
shoe.
up.
Maybe. They already said they weren't going to release his shoe. That was already going on. So I think this is just the formality of that happening. So that, I'm thinking of other basketball news.
Oh, that Texas coach
who
he got arrested.
I just looked, and Texas was losing at halftime as they were playing tonight.
He's suspended following his arrest where he tried to strangle a family member.
2 a.m.
Do you think alcohol was involved?
I feel like
I want to know what family member.
What would be just never mind. Never mind.
I mean, it's the season for wanting to kill your family, so
Yeah, shut up.
There's the snippet. There's the snippet.
There's the
we were
one.
looking for.
There's the one.
Is the season.
it's the season to be married.
Any
Well,
other sports news?
I got nothing.
Alex, you're usually Johnny on the spot.
I know. I have a little bit of a cold, so every time I talk too much, my throat gets tickly and I cough.
Your throat gets tickly.
So I'm trying really hard not to like overdo it.
And a cough.
All right. That's it for random sports news, I think, Muff.
I mean, it's,
Well, not to get back
it's
into
sports
Penguins
news,
talk,
but basketball. Which way are you going with this?
I'll say not to get back into Penguins talk, but Letang had his second stroke, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And he just led the team in ice time earlier the night.
What do you mean
Yeah.
a second stroke? Like an actual stroke?
Yes.
The
Yes.
second one.
Yes.
Correct.
He had a stroke earlier in his career.
Hockey players built different,
And they let him back on the ice.
Yes.
right? We sit here and we talk about the NFL and player safety. let's not ever talk about the NHL and player safety, because
Good grief.
that sport would not exist if they had to abide by these types of rules.
Listen, every time I watch a hockey player get hurt and come back on the ice, considering it's a winter sport, I go, a basketball player would never.
Mm-mm.
Because you think about how many times at the end of the playoffs when teams get eliminated and they have those end of the season interviews, it's like, oh, what are you dealing with? Oh, I was dealing with a torn labrum, a torn ACL, a broken foot, a broken ankle. Like, hockey players play through anything.
Tape it up, figure it out.
So, random news. The Ohio Supreme Court ruled that the state's attempt to tax NASCAR for broadcasting its races in Ohio was unlawful.
Oh, I know something else I saw. Let me see if I can find the tweet. But high school NIL is now a thing in Pennsylvania.
What?
Yeah, I gotta see if I can find that.
So upsetting for life. High school. I don't know. What do you mean high school NIL? Where that
I gotta find it. I swear I saw it said that NIL is coming to the high school ranks in Pennsylvania.
I'm just trying to think of who said that they couldn't to start. Was that built into the bylaws of interscholastic athletics?
I don't know. I'm trying to find what I saw.
I haven't heard it yet, but
It says that it was approved.
Well, get ready for the cash machine to just roll on through as the end of high school career start. Last topic I have, basketball adjacent, Brittany Griner
Oh, yeah.
coming back to the United States. I'm not going to get into any of the other details on that aside from
But the hell you're not? How are you not going to bring it up? We traded the Merchant of Death for Brittany Griner. That's the detail. That's the detail. We can't avoid it. We're not going to get our opinions on it. That's what you want to do. But that is a fact.
That is a fact.
it happened. Brittany Griner's coming home.
Brittany Griner's home. The Merchant of Death is back in Russia. That's
Also
what
home.
happened.
Also home.
Well, I don't know where his home is. I've watched Lord of War. He has multiple homes.
I watched Lord of War.
Nicolas Cage references. Here we go. Face Off, Alex. You watched that yet?
No, I have not watched Face Off yet. My movie game. Once football season's over, we'll go back to the movies.
We'll have to
You gotta
gear
watch
up
Face
the
Off.
list. That'll be the first one back.
Yeah.
When we get to that point.
Re-up.
All right. Any other sports news to discuss this fine day?
Not that I can think of. I think we
No.
covered a lot.
Since Muff's the Grinch, this is Mount Massive.
Hoo.
All right. This week's topic, the 5 best holiday gifts we've ever received. Alex and I will start because you two were not properly prepared for this. So be thinking about your 5 best things.
There's 3 of us. I'm here too.
You're a package deal, Sam.
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
start.
You can go for me because I couldn't think of 5 if I had to.
I'll start. I got a Nintendo, like the original Nintendo NES. That was
Mhm.
awesome. Introduced me to video games. I got the old school wrestling dummies. Backstory to that. I knew what they were all wrapped in a package. I thought I was going to get screwed, so I made my brother trade. He ended up getting Hulk Hogan. I ended up getting Macho King. Still bitter about that to this day. Number 3, I got a Charger starter jacket, which back in the day, if you had a starter jacket, you were the shit. That was awesome. Now you can get them from Homage. Need to give me one of them. Number 4, I got a sign that says characters staying true to your word, work, and your friends. It's kind of my motto. And now I need number 5. Number 5. My wife's gonna kill me because none of these are her Christmas gifts. Oh shit. Number 5. Oh. I don't have a 5th.
Good top 5, Jim. Good top 5.
I'm thinking about it. Alex, I'll think of my 5th while you're
Okay,
working on it.
I struggle with my 5th. I'll go with my number 1. When I got my first Heinz Ward jersey, it was
Yeah, I got one.
it was funny because I also got a PlayStation 2 this year, but was completely unenthralled, and all I saw was that jersey, and I was like, a jersey. I'm like, it's a Heinz Ward jersey. I'm like, look at it, look at it. My dad's like, yeah, what else is over there? I'm like, the jersey. He's like, not the $300 video game machine that's sitting there, but okay, the jersey. The second, which this really would be the first, but I didn't put them in a specific order. My grandfather's old ID bracelet. My grandma found it after he passed and like had it like refurbished and refinished, so that was an important
Oh,
gift.
that's nice.
Tarzan on VHS because I was pumped. I got that from. That was actually might have been a birthday gift. So that one might be a little against the rules, but it was a good gift
It
regardless.
still works.
My guitar that my grandpa got me. I'm not very good at it, but it's fun to tinker with, and it was a nice gesture. And the video iPod was in sixth
Video
grade.
iPod. Mine was a junior seau jersey. I forgot about that. When you said jersey, my junior seau jersey was cool. It was probably my first ever jersey. Now I think about it.
Okay.
So which one do you want to go next? Muff or Nate?
Muff,
go.
go.
I'll go.
I'm still working.
I'm trying to. So I definitely got a Super Nintendo and a PlayStation. So those are in the top 5. Like at
All
some
right.
point in my life. I got it. I was in like 1st or 2nd grade, and I to this day cannot recall what it was called. But for the sake of me trying to remember, I'm going to call it the SRS XTX 5000. And it was this gun, right? It was this like toy gun that shot. It wasn't even a Nerf gun. I don't think it was just this thing. It shot things, and I remember getting it and being really excited because I was like, oh, I want this. I want this. I want this. It was obviously I was being marketed to very, very, very specifically. And then I got it, and then it like stopped working within 2 days, and I was not happy.
Yeah.
I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza tosser machine, like the
Oh
action
yeah.
figure.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. I remember being really
Those are
pumped about
Bowden.
that. And I don't even know how old I was. I got the Toon Squad jersey combo from Space Jam.
Oh,
I remember getting that
That's
and being pumped and wearing it to school and thinking I was real cool for
That is-
for no good reason, but I thought I was really cool.
You were cool, Muff.
that is
You
cool.
were cool. All right, Sam.
Okay. Well, Nate could list everything I've ever bought him. So,
That's true.
okay. In no specific order, I got a Wii when I was like in
A
middle
Wii?
school. A Wii.
Okay.
And my dad, because it was like the hot item that year, my dad had a friend that was like going to all the stores and buying a bunch of them up and reselling for like massive amounts of money. I got one of those because you couldn't find them anywhere else. The Barbie cash register. It was great. You could scan things. You had credit cards. You had cash. It was fantastic. I still have it. My engagement ring, I guess that counts as a gift. If Nate ever divorces me, I'm keeping it.
Sure.
I
Sure.
did get it on Christmas.
Reasonable.
I don't think it's him divorcing you, but carry on.
It would be me divorcing. I'm still keeping it. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Last year, Nate got me a knife skills class, mostly so that I know how to use the knife to stab him sometime. And cut onions. And
I think that was for your
gift,
safety, but okay.
yeah, my favorite gift probably of all times was my Play-Doh Dr. Drillin' Fill.
Oh, that's a good one.
I had the OG and I have the newer one. My grandma got it for me, and I like found a video a couple years ago that my parents had taken on Christmas, and I unwrapped it and I look at her and I was like, this is so nice. I thought you bought it for another little girl, because she must have bought it and I found it, and she told me she bought it for like some other child.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it was great. You could give them cavities and then give them fillings, and the new one you can give braces. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got 2 of the new ones in my house right now.
See, that's because you're married to a dental hygienist. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Nate, do you feel slighted at all that the engagement ring was not in like the top 2?
I said in no particular order.
No, Sam's
but we
definitely
know.
a material girl, that's for sure. The more tangible item she has, the better.
I don't know, but
That's
she
true.
she spent a whole lot of time talking about this Play-Doh drill and fill.
If you had one, you would understand why.
They are
I
pretty
may.
awesome.
I think it was also because she ate some of the Play-Doh.
I think that wraps up this week's Mount Massive.
Like,
I need to turn that back.
Let's just start.
start. Woo!
Bench.
Cool.
Cut. All right, sticking with the Christmas theme. You can start, bench, or cut the following Christmas meal.
Oh, let's go.
Ham.
I thought you were doing players or something, and I don't know anything about.
No, it's all Christmas. You're still
Okay,
in.
cool. I'm here for it. He hates Christmas.
Ham, turkey, or steak.
Okay, I got mine.
You good? Go ahead, Alex.
Start turkey, just because it's the holiday food. Bench steak and cut ham. Do not like ham.
I'm gonna
Sam?
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Nate.
Or Muff.
I will start the steak.
Okay.
Bench the ham, cut the turkey. Turkey's gross.
I'm gonna start ham, bench turkey, cut steak.
I'm with Alex.
I'm cutting steak. I'm cutting steak because steak is like in every other time of the year for me. The holidays are about the other things, the ham and the turkey.
I hate ham. Cut the ham.
Nate, what are you starting, benching, and cutting?
I will start turkey, bench the steak, and cut the hams. I'm not a big ham guy.
That's right. That's right.
That's
Weird.
All right. Next up. Okay. Would you start bench cut, making a gingerbread house, going caroling, or making Christmas cookies?
Ooh.
We're gonna start with Sam.
Start making cookies. Bench the gingerbread house and cut the caroling, because nobody wants to hear me sing.
Okay.
Even my coworkers and all day at work.
I second that.
I'm gonna start making the gingerbread house. I'm gonna bench making cookies, and I'm gonna cut caroling. I remember caroling. I remember being forced to carol whenever I was younger, as part of like Boy Scouts or something, or some community thing. And
Yeah.
I don't remember ever being super excited about it.
No.
Probably because I was made to do it. I didn't have an option.
Alex.
I will start Christmas cookies. I will like all 3. Bench gingerbread house and cut caroling, door to door caroling. But I will be singing Christmas carols throughout all of the other two activities.
See, that's me. Yeah, I'm not going door to door, but I will serenade you
Not in
The
this
best
house,
way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud
for all to hear.
as long as Nate's not here.
He's the
I'm
Grinch.
gonna make the cookies. I'm gonna bench the gingerbread, and I'm cutting the caroling.
I'm with
All
you.
right. Does everybody know about the pickle and the ornament before I do
Yes.
this?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay, Muff. I thought that you'd be the last Mohican here. So apparently they hide the Sam explain.
It's a Pittsburgh thing, I think.
Apparently not.
Well, it might
North
be other.
Carolina people do it.
Okay, so you hide the pickle and then you have to like search for it on Christmas.
Yeah, I never
And
A lot
had to
of
do that
people
ever in
hide
my
it
life.
in
If you
their
get the
tree.
pickle,
Sounds like
If you get the pickle, I think you get like a gift of some sort, right?
yeah, you get a gift.
Yeah.
And there's pickle ornaments, Muff.
Yeah. It's a thing. They sell them everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember
So I
having to
just
look.
found that out.
I remember like trying to find there was no I've heard this the goal of if you could find the most candy canes. Like
Not the same.
Okay.
It's a
I've heard the pickle thing too, though.
yeah.
All right. So start bench cut. The pickle thing. Elf on a shelf. Or white elephant.
Start white elephant, bench elf on the shelf, cut the pickle thing, so it stressed me out.
yeah, I'm with Alex. Plus I have no idea what the pickle thing is, so it gets the
Yeah.
axe.
He's very nervous to commit to that.
I'm gonna start Elf on the Shelf because I live for that shit. I what were my other options? Pickle
Pickle
and
and white elephant.
bench white elephant, cut the pickle because ain't nobody got time for that.
On elephant, pickle, white elephant. Now, I just want clarification. White elephant's where we trade the gifts, correct?
Yeah, it's where you like play the game, you trade the gift, you like
I
pass.
Can
hate
only,
that.
can only be traded twice or something like
Yeah, I
that.
don't
It drives me nuts. So I do more plotting in that thing than I care to. So, elf, pickle, cut the white elephant.
Yeah.
Same.
No, Nate's with you, Jim.
All right, and that is start, bench, cut.
That leads us to the end of this week's episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff.
Muff's like, we're really done this time for real.
A very impromptu episode. We got it done. We talked about the things. Did we talk about all the things? Most
think
definitely not.
Maybe.
We talked about the things that mattered, including all of the special topics as the season comes along. As remember, get into the Bowl Mania. Follow us on all of the social medias at Sports Jim Muff for Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff W/Jim _ Buff on Facebook, on YouTube. Get in the game because you can win things.
Hey, Sam, can they win a custom cup from Harper and Company?
They can win a custom cup, a custom ornament, a custom keychain. The
Harper
possibilities
and Company. Harper and Company's
out Harper
helping the
and Co.
Bowl Mania. There we go.
Some custom item from Harper and Company will go to the winning person of the Bowl Mania. So remember, you can get to it through the link tree in the social media profiles. You can catch it when Jim shares it on Facebook. Direct link when Jim shares it. A reminder on the Instagram and on the Twitter, because the only way for that pile of people to keep going up, and up is to tell a friend, make a friend, be
Uh,
Ah.